Well, I'll be. A hitchhiker in an Easter Bunny costume. Hop in. Where you headed?
BJ's Wholesale Club to do my Easter shopping. I have so many baskets to fill.
That costume is so lifelike. There's not even a zipper.
Oh, there's BJ's. I can hop out here.
Look at him go.
Get a $15 digital coupon when you spend $150 on practically anything in one transaction through April 20th. Coupon will appear in your digital gallery on April 24th. Terms apply. Go to bjs.com/Easter coupon for details. BJ's. Absurdly simple savings.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
At Great Wolf Lodge, there's adventure for the whole family. You and your pack can splash away in the indoor water park where it's always 84 degrees. There's a wave pool, a lazy river, and a bunch of massive water slides, including ones your family can all enjoy together. They even have adventure-packed attractions, from the Northern Lights Arcade to delicious dining, and you can't miss the nightly family dance parties. With 23 lodges across the country, you're always only a short drive away from adventure. So bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com, greatwolf.com, and strengthen the pack.
Time for a brand new episode, and as we are approaching that time of year where clubs are relegated and confirmed as promoted, I thought we'd do an episode on a couple of the most incredible relegation moments in English football. Before we do that, a couple of shout outs and messages and some of your Apple Podcast reviews. And thank you so much to everybody who's been taking the time to send an email in to get a shout out at footballforkidspodcast@gmail.com or Darren at footballforkidspodcast.com, or just doing a Apple Podcast review. The first one is a huge happy birthday shout out for somebody who is going to be turning 6 on the 23rd of April, which is just over a week's time as I record this today. And that soon to be 6-year-old is Jacob, who plays for a team called APB Wingate. He's a striker, and at this moment in time, as I record this, he scored 70 goals in 40 games. He sounds like an incredible striker indeed, and he's a season ticket holder at Tottenham. So Jacob, the goal-scoring machine for APB Wingate on the 23rd of April, I hope that you have a absolutely fantastic birthday. Next up is a huge shout out to Freddie Lucas, who's age 6, and a massive shout out to Max Lucas, who's age 9, from North Wales, and they play for Denby Town FC. Hopefully, I haven't butchered the name of your team. Anyway, I'm sure you know who you are, Freddie Lucas and Max Lucas. I know that you support Manchester United, and thank you so very much for being listeners of the podcast. And lastly, a couple of your 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. The first one is from Alistair Hatton. It says, Liverpool are the best, 5 stars. And then it says, please can you do a Lamine Yamal part 2, Darren? Well, Alistair Hatton, a massive shout out to you. Thank you so much for your 5-star review. And I reckon we're getting to that point where we may well need to do a Lamine Yamal part 2. However, I reckon it might be 6 months away because we need a little bit more to speak about. And the last one on this one is another 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, which says, can you do an episode on Franco Baresi? Hi Darren, my name is Marvin. I am 12 and I support Manchester City. Please can you do an episode on Franco Baresi? I think he is the best defender of all time. Right then, that's all we've got time for in terms of birthday shout-outs, messages, reviews and everything else. And remember, if you're a club captain on Patreon, you are guaranteed a shout-out on the podcast. And if you want to get a personalised video message, shout-out, birthday, pep talk for your team or whatever it is, then search for Darren Rees on the Cameo app and you can get yourself one on there as well. So then, one of the most incredible relegation moments maybe ever, maybe in history, maybe there will ever be, came in the year 1999. And would you believe it, he was a goalkeeper who was on loan who saved the day, for reasons you're probably not thinking of. So let me set the scene. It was the English Football Third Division, which is what we know today as the EFL League Two. One league below the third division in 1999 was non-league football, where things were seriously hard. There's very little money, and getting back into league football is one of the most difficult things in sport, and this is where Carlisle United found themselves, at the bottom of the league on the last game of the season. That season, Brentford, who were now a Premier League team, had secured promotion. Brighton and Hove Albion, who were also a Premier League team, were in the middle of the table, and Leyton Orient had found themselves in the playoff positions. Scarborough United were on 47 points before the game kicked off, and they were playing Peterborough. Carlisle United were on 46 points. If Scarborough United had won, there would have been nothing that Carlisle could have done. But this is how the story unfolded. Scarborough drew 1-1 with Peterborough, and at 90 minutes when the whistle had gone, the news had reached the Scarborough United fans that Carlisle were drawing in a game against Plymouth Argyle, and there were seconds to go in the game. Scarborough United fans flooded the pitch, jumping up and down, jumping for joy, laughing and crying, all at the same time, believing that they had done it. They had escaped relegation to non-league football. Footage of Scarborough United fans came flooding into TV studios on Sky Sports. And then, in the dying moments, it all changed. Seconds to go in the Carlisle game, somebody scored a winner. The news made it to Scarborough United fans who'd already spent 2 minutes jumping up and down and hugging each other, jumping for joy that they were saved from relegation. However, the realisation was about to kick in, as they had celebrated too soon. Now, Carlisle had scored, they had more points than them, and that meant that if Peterborough didn't score and equalise, then Scarborough were going down. And then the whistle went. It was official. Scarborough United were relegated. But this is the thing that made it even more remarkable and incredible, and that was the goal that was scored in the dying seconds for Carlisle United was scored by a goalkeeper. However, it was a goal not from a header or anything like that, not from his own box. It was his right foot inside the box, and he saved the day. But what made it even more remarkable is the Carlisle goalkeeper, who they'd normally use, had recently been sold in a random situation, leaving the club in need of an emergency goalkeeper. That goalkeeper was Jimmy Glass. He was an emergency signing and a keeper on loan from Swindon. It was an incredible turn of events, and one of those things that can only seem to happen in the sport of football. Unfortunately, and very sadly for Scarborough United, they are no longer a club, and it was just 7 years after being relegated to non-league football that the club closed down after financial difficulties. They were a club that started 146 years ago, in 1879, but keeping a football club alive in non-league football is very difficult indeed. So, there you go. A lone goalkeeper who saved the day for Carlisle and may well be the man who kept the club alive even today. A truly incredible relegation last day of the season moment, and story. There are many other moments and stories in terms of the final games of the season, upsets, heartache and controversy. Football is one of those sports that can create the most almighty highs and the most terrible lows. It's a sport that has us on the edge of our seats, biting our nails and jumping for joy, and it can all change in a matter of seconds, and I guess that's why we all love it. As I record this today, in April 2025, there's only a handful of games left in the English football season, and I wonder what drama we'll get this time round. So remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly, or pitchside, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
This weekend, only at Macy's, it's our lowest prices of spring. How low? Diamond rings, pendants, and earrings, only $399, originally $1,500. Ninja blenders, now $89.99. And $395 men's designer suits, only $99.99. So if you're wondering why you should shop Macy's lowest prices sale, well, the name pretty much says it all. It's our lowest prices for one weekend only. Starts tomorrow at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Football for Kids is proud to be supporting Soccer Aid for UNICEF 2025. Watch some of the biggest stars take to the pitch at Old Trafford on June 15th for yet another match which is set to be a classic. Tickets are available now via socceraid.org.uk/tickets.